Guys, it's Karen and I've got a doggy haul for you, and there's quite a few things here that I hope will be useful to you guys. That's why I try and do this, not just to show you what I've bought, but I think it's good for you guys to have ideas, and if you're a crazy dog lady like I am, you might want to buy your pet some Christmas presents, which I've got in here as well. And there's a couple of funny things in here. Anyway, I think it's funny. I'll show you the first one. So the first thing, I write down the things I buy in a book. I've got my little black book over there, my big black book, and I write down what I've bought under Doggy and Beauty and New and things like that. And so I had wrote down big teddy bear because I bought him a big teddy bear. And I thought, oh God, how am I going to show them this? This is the teddy bear that I bought Watson. So you can see this is what its leg looked like when it was full. This is what its leg looks like now. I've tied a knot in it. Its two arms seem to be intact, but as you can see, he has no head. But I wanted to show it to you because I wanted to tell you, I'm sure there's a lot of other dogs like Watson that whatever he gets, he likes to destroy. And what he seems to take most pleasure from, and you've probably seen it in these vlogs, is pulling this white stuff out. And I have stuffed this back in now in this little bit here about 4 or 5 times. And every evening he will sit and he gets his head right in there and he just sits there going, like pulling it out, and he's really focused on it, and it always makes him really tired, and he always really enjoys it. He'll only do it if one of Kev or I are sitting with him. He seems to enjoy the fact that we're sitting there, and it's just, I knew pretty quickly that the toys I bought him were going to be destroyed, and the ones that we buy from Pets at Home are really expensive, and it was kind of getting expensive, you know, because they'd come home and they'd be destroyed in a couple of days. So somebody had mentioned to me to go to B&M, so that's where I got this from, and he was, I think, £7.99, something like that, which I thought was really good because one of the other toys I'm going to show you here is £9 and a lot smaller. So, you know, £7.99 for a huge teddy like that, I thought what a great idea. So B&M stores, if you're in the UK, is somewhere worth going to check for soft toys if your dog, like mine, likes soft toys, because he's not really, I've said before, he's not toy oriented. He's first dog orientated, other dog orientated. He loves playing with other dogs, and if he hears another dog, you could put a piece of chicken in front of him and he wouldn't eat it. He's just not interested. No, dogs are his number one. Then food, then maybe humans, and then toys. And even with toys, like I said, he won't sit on his own and play with the toy, or very rarely will he do that. I'm trying to train him to do that because I'd like him to do that, but he'll sit and chew on a bone, but not a toy. Anyway, I thought that was funny, so we got that. I'm going to show you the big things first so that I can firstly give him his bed back, and secondly not have to keep on reaching down. I got him a new bed, and this is the one I got, and I wanted to show you it for a couple of reasons. One, because I think it's really cool. I think it's really nice with this little paw on it, and it's just nice and cozy, and it's got a very soft, thick bottom. Do you know how some of these have just got like a piece of paper, you know, it's like really thin without the cushion in it, and there is a cushion that goes in this, but this has actually got a nice foam padding so that without the cushion in it he can lie in this and still enjoy it as a bed. And I think that's one of the things I want to tell you guys, because if you want to, like me, wash the cushions a lot because of his dust mites, I probably shouldn't get the cozy type beds, but he likes the cozy type beds, so I'm happy to keep on washing as need be. And I always make sure I get something that can be washed. This can go in the washing machine, so this outer cover comes off. There's a zip at the back, you unzip it and put the cover in the wash, and I can also wash the cushion that goes in it. So that was one of the things, because then when you're washing the cushion, they've still got a bed to sleep in if you don't want to have loads of beds around. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I've washed the cushion, but I leave this out for him and he still sleeps in it. And the other thing is I got that from Pets at Home, which I think people don't think of going to Pets at Home, but I do know a couple of people that have said, oh, I don't bother with Pets at Home for beds because I didn't think they were very nice or didn't have a big selection. But they seem to be getting better, because when we first bought a bed they didn't have a huge selection, but when I went in this time they did have, there was a lot of choice for me, and so yeah, Pets at Home, it was about, I think it was £38, something like that, so I thought that was pretty good for that bed. The only thing is the cushion that goes in the middle, and I can't show you because it's drying on one of the radiators, has gone a kind of, it hasn't stayed that nice cream colour, and it has shrunk. So it used to take up the whole sort of area, and now it's a little bit smaller, but it says to wash it at 30 and I washed it at 40, so that's probably my own fault. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's my own fault, but I want to eventually get it up to 60, because it's something to remember is if you're washing dust my eggs the way you need to be washing at 60. So I don't think I'll be able to wash that cushion at 60, but I'm not too bothered because I've still got this, and hopefully this won't shrink when I wash it. That'll be the only problem. And then the other huge thing is food. But again, I had a reason for wanting to show you this. This is called, it's tails.com. If I can lift it up, you can see there it says tails.com is the website. Oh, I've gone all misty. And believe it or not, this is a sample size. This, bless them, is a sample size that I paid for the postage for this and nothing else. I sent them an email and said, look, I've got a super fussy dog, but I've also got problems with his tummy. Can you please help me with a sample, you know? And the idea is that you tell them exactly what your dog likes, and they mix it all into a tailored food. You tell him how big he is, what kind of exercise he has, what food he likes, and they tailor a food to him. So they sent this, and they were obviously very confident that Watson was going to like it. Unfortunately, he doesn't. But despite that, I wanted to tell you because I think I've got the fussiest dog in the world. I mean, the amount of foods that I've showed him and he won't even touch is amazing to me, you know. And we're getting there with finding exactly what to give him just now, which I'll tell you about in a moment actually. But I think it does look like a really good idea. It isn't too expensive, and I'll show you what the food looks like if I can get the right handful. I need the right handful because there's 3 different shapes in here. You get one little bone shape, one little round nugget, and then one little kind of clover type thing. And it tells you that, oh, it doesn't tell you on here. It says on here that it's Watson. You see it says Watson? One of them is got the lighter ingredients in it. One of it is for energy and one of it is for something else. It's really good. I think it's a really nice way of doing it and of tailoring it to your dog. So it's just something to think about if you're looking for a new place to buy some food. This tails.com website were really helpful, is I suppose what I was saying. They're helpful, the food's got good ingredients in them, and the idea is it's for dogs that are fussy. Unfortunately, Watson is just clearly too fussy. Okay, that's the big things. Then I'll show you the 2 things that I bought for his birthday. So not for his birthday, for Christmas. Yesterday I bought this from Pets at Home, and like I said, this was £9, so they are pretty expensive from Pets at Home, and I'm only going to buy them from there now if we've got jobs. Would be one thing, but for Christmas and birthday, so special occasions basically. It has got a squeak in it. He's not really bothered about things that squeak. The reason I chose this is, again, if you've got a dog like me that likes to destroy things and pull things, he likes playing tug. There's long limbs to pull, and he'll probably pull this off immediately, there's this sort of bit of rope on the nose, there's the ears, and then there's all these little bits, and he's got another toy with bits on like this that he likes to sit and pull these bits off. So I thought that that would be something he would enjoy, and I didn't have a toy for him for Christmas. And then I bought these, which I wasn't going to wrap these up for him actually, because I said to Kev what I wanted to do was wrap presents up, and it's actually, people might think it's silly wrapping presents up for a dog, but they love the paper, you know, and the noise and the tearing of it. He loves that. I noticed that on his birthday. He loved opening his presents. He wasn't too bothered about what was inside, like with his toy, but he really enjoyed unwrapping it. So you could almost just put wrapping paper over wrapping paper, and they'd enjoy that, you know, if you can't afford to buy presents. And one of the things we got him, and I will do again this year, was a box of tissues, because he just loves tissues. Anyway, what I said to Kev was I didn't want to buy presents that he would open and then I would take away from him, but this is one of those, because what I'll probably do actually is take one of these out. I might even half it and wrap it up, because this would be a present. I'm not going to let him have 3 venison sausages in one go, you know, because that would really upset his tummy. But they're 100% natural venison sausage, and I'm actually curious how long they'll last. Not very long actually, because to me, if I can press my thumbs in it, which I can with this, that pretty much means he will destroy it, and that one of those will be gone in 5 minutes. I really wanted to show you this because this has been so useful, and I think it's such good value for money. And it is funny because Kev didn't think we needed one. I said to Kev, we were out in the dark, and I said to Kev, oh, we need to get him something that lights up. I said something on his collar, or we need to get something that lights him up, because we'd taken him to the park, not realising that although they've got street lights, street lamps in there, they still didn't make it bright enough to see him. When he was on the field playing, we were like, you know, you couldn't see if he'd had a poop for a start, you couldn't see where he was, more importantly, and if he'd ran off. I thought if he goes into the bushes, we've got no hope of getting him. We both actually downloaded like a torch app on that day, and Kev then said, oh, but you know, most of the time I won't be taking him up here, and I wouldn't let him off lead when it was dark. But I said to Kev, well, I feel happier getting one. Actually, since having this, Kev's like, thank God we've got it. And he said, we do need it, because he said, even when it's dark, seeing whether he's on which side of me, because Watson's so dark, you know. And so we got this harness, and it is absolutely brilliant. And I got this from Pets at Home, and it was £12, which I think was just really, really good value. So the way that it works, this is the bit on top where you hook your lead on. So you just put it over his head. So it's not one of these harnesses where he has to step into it or anything. You put it over his head and you clip it under his waist. So this is kind of on the front of the chest, and this is over the top. And then, like I said, you clip it underneath. You can, you know, loosen and expand it. It's not one that's constantly loosening up. Like a lot of collars you'll find with a dog, especially if you've got a dog that pulls like Watson, they loosen up a lot. This isn't too bad. We'll maybe adjust it like once a week. But this is the great thing about it. You can switch it on here. You've got two little buttons to switch it on. Oh, you're going to see that. It's actually flashing. Might have to switch the light off for you to see. We're going to switch the light off so you can see. Okay, all you'll be able to see is this. So let me show you the different options you've got. You've got that completely flashing one. You've got, this is the one that we use, and you've got two, you can have like two bits lit up. I can't see where to bloody press it because of the light. Oh no, okay. There, that's the first option. That's the second one, which is a slower flash, and then that's the third one. And then if you put the other one on as well, that's what it looks like. So you've got it up like that. So that's on the front of him, that's on the top. So it's really, really easy to see him at all times. You know, sometimes when you, a lot of the times things are more expensive than I think, and I would say most of the time I'll like have a figure in my head and it'll always be more expensive than I think. This was less than I thought. I was expecting to pay about £20, £20 to £25 for something for him, especially for a harness. I thought it would be, you know, between £20 and £30. So for this to be £12, and this was Pets at Home, I thought was really, really good. So really impressed with that. Health things, and then on top food and snacks, I bought some more slippery elm. So just to let you know, I really do rate these. I had psyllium husk, which to me it was a pain in the bum to try and get him to take it. It makes everything really gloopy. It makes, I won't go into details because it's quite gruesome, but you can see in a way how it's working with the bowels, but it's like masking. It's not actually doing much. It's not actually changing things. So I think that psyllium husk is maybe good in certain circumstances, but for us it just didn't work. So I tried this slippery elm, and this isn't immediate. It's not something that will work immediate, and the downside of this is you have to give him 2-3 times a day as the full dose. But we gave him 2-3 times a day, and then just reduced it down to 1 or twice a day, and that seems to be working. Every time he has a little bit of an upset stomach, we'll introduce this back in for a few days, and it just seems to make things better. And hopefully, in my head, the biggest thing for me is the pain relief that this supposedly gives. It's like a bandage, they say, for the intestines, so it soothes things, and certainly it shows the other end. We can see that it's improved things. But you can, you know, try and give them it as a tablet, which is quite difficult for dogs, but we just open up this and put it in food, and it hasn't changed anything that he's eaten. And when I've put probiotics in, or that psyllium husk, he's refused to eat his normal food. This doesn't change the taste or anything, so it doesn't seem to bother him. And I actually mix this in with his dry kibble, and it just sort of sticks to the kibble, and he's not bothered. It doesn't go gloopy or anything like that. So love slippery elm, and would totally recommend it. It's also not one of the more expensive ones in Holland and Barrett, which is good. I think it's about £10 for this 100 capsules. I mentioned this to you, but just in case, because I like to try and save people money. That's kind of the premise of my beauty channel and of this channel, is that if you can do things, you know, cheaper or more efficiently, then that's what I want to let you guys know. And this is the Malaseb shampoo, and this is my new bottle, although this is also running out and I need to buy yet another one. But this costs £29 from the vet, and this, you can get Malaseb and you can get Microbex, and they're both antifungal shampoos. Ooh, I hear Watson barking. Careful, be on it. They're both antifungal shampoos, and for us that's because Watson has been found to have an allergy to yeast. It hasn't been working as well for us lately, to be honest, but Kev washed him in it yesterday, just because he was filthy, and he hasn't been chewing his paws this morning so far, so that's pretty good. Anyway, my point being, £29 from the vet. So I found it online at Viovet for £11, so I was delighted. But then I found out I needed a prescription for it. So you go to your vet and you pay £17 for a prescription, so it works out the same amount of money. But you can then subsequently order however many bottles you want without paying anything extra. So I just want to let anybody know that doesn't already know that, because for me it's going to save me money, because now I've paid for the prescription and the 1 bottle of shampoo was the same cost as 1 bottle of shampoo, and now every subsequent bottle will only cost me £11. And it's a real big saving because it's a very thick shampoo, and it doesn't foam very much, so you actually use quite a lot. And I was just using it on his feet and muzzle and bum, and then trying to use a puppy shampoo on the rest of him, but he was still itching, so I do need to use it all over. So this only lasts me 2 or 3 washes, so it is a big expense. Kind of random thing to show you is tuna and mayonnaise paste. And I got tuna and mayonnaise paste, I got salmon paste, and one other that I can't remember, maybe a beef one. And I looked at the ingredients, and they're actually not too bad. There's a little bit of salt in them, but there is salt in some of the dog food. You just need to make sure that salt's not too high. But this one wasn't too bad. And the reason I bought this was I was in desperation trying everything to disguise this psyllium husk powder in. And paste actually worked pretty well. It didn't work every single time, but it did work pretty well. And what I did with the rest of the paste that was left in it was I just mixed it with a little bit of water and put it in with his dog food. And it's a really nice kind of inexpensive way of zhuzhing up their kibble and putting a little bit of a different flavour in, you know. And I also managed to give him a Piriton in this, so I took a little ball of paste, and you can kind of roll it, it's quite thick, and put a Piriton in the middle and gave him it in the paste, and that worked well as well. So it's just something to give you an idea, you know, that's not too expensive. With Kev and I not having jobs, let me tell you, my eyes are open to things that are expensive and not expensive. I want to show you these are the Caesar, what are they called? It just says 100% complete selection in sauce. Now we got sent a packet of these, we got sent this whole thing, not this exact one, we've since went and bought it, and it's got 2 packets of beef and 2 packets of chicken, and it's just a little pouch of wet food. And so Watson had been, for the last few months, when he's in the park, for quite a few months, when he's in the park, he'll dig little holes and eat the mud. And I don't know, I was like, why are you eating that mud? He'd have mud all over his face. He looked like he was really enjoying it. And then it was only recently that somebody said to me that a lot of dogs do that if they're just having dry food. And she said, do you give him just dry food? I said, yes, we just give him kibble, because at the time, well, it's only been this last week that we started adding wet in again. We only give him dry kibble because I do wet it in the evening. I wet his adult Royal Canin in the evening, but he's not that fussy for it if you put water in it. And wet food just seemed to go right through him and affect his colitis. So we were giving him dry kibble. And so I thought, well, I wonder if that's what it is. We need to add in something wet. But a lot of the foods that we're giving him, like I said, even a tablespoon of Country Hunter duck food, which he loves, that would go right through him. But anyway, we got these through the post. And so I thought I would try them. And so I put one of these in with his evening kibble, and he loved it, absolutely loved it. And that was, like I said, only about a week ago. And then I put another one in the following night, another the following night, and that seems to be working out pretty well. And it's making his bowels really good as well, which we were worried it would go the other way and affect him, because it's a new, you know, you're introducing a new food, plus it's wet food, which hasn't always agreed with him. But it's worked really well. So I've tried, these are £2 for a pack, I think, something like that. Which if you're using one every evening, because it's about a quarter of his allowance of food, I think. And I think these are actually for small dogs, not for medium dogs, because it only goes up to 10 kilograms on the back, but Watson's 16 kilograms now. What was I going to say? It works out about £10 a month, I think, something like that. But remembering you're then going to reduce the amount of kibble you're using. So for us, that's working pretty well. So the other one I got, I forgot to bring it through, but Pedigree do a little packet of sachets as well. That's £1.29, and obviously the ingredients aren't as good, but he loves that as much, and that seems to do very well for him as well. I can't remember the name of them though, but you can get those from Asda. So yeah, that's working out pretty well. And I bought a couple of things to try. Like I bought this one yesterday, Nature's Menu beef with tripe, and that's quite a big packet, so I'd probably give him that over 2 nights. But it's just something worth thinking about. You know, all these things, there's so much, isn't there, in Pets at Home and in Asda and in everything. You could stand there looking at stuff for ages. So I think when you can see a video like this, it can give you some ideas to talk about. I think I've mentioned once before, but more and more I'm exploring this part of the shop, and that is to look at the cat part of things. And I think I've showed you these before, but I get these from Asda. They're called Tiger. They're 6 cat sticks rich in lamb. And they're really, really good. And I keep on buying these, and I can't remember, I think these are about £1.60, something like that, but you get about 6 in a pack. And they are just sticks. They're very, very soft, so you can tear them with your hands. You don't need scissors or anything. But they're strong smelling, and because they're lamb, they're not got chicken, because we try to find things without chicken in for Watson. And I can use these for training treats. I can put them in boxes for him to find, and because they're smaller and they're softer, like so, it's just so easy to use. You just rip one of these open, and then you can rip the strip into little pieces. And I learnt that from the trainer, the dog trainer that came out. He actually bought something like this with him. So yesterday when I was in Pets at Home, I thought, let me go and have a look at the cat treats and see what there is, and I bought these 2, and so I'm really excited about these because, like I said, Watson is 16 kilograms. He was 15 kilos. By the way, I'd love your advice if you think I should worry about this or not. When we took him to the vet, he was 15 kilograms. I think it was 15.1, and the vet said, what a lovely weight he is. Don't let him get any bigger than that. Don't let him go any below that. He's absolutely the perfect weight. He's now 16 kilograms, but everybody around us, and if you've seen him in the vlog, says that he's not fat at all. You can still feel his waist, you can still feel his ribs, and that not to worry about the fact that he's 16 kilograms. But I feel like I should maybe put him on a diet. I'm not sure, because he's a kilogram over when the vet said, you know, don't let him get any bigger. I don't know, so let me know what you think. Anyway, what excited me about these, and I'll open them so that you can see them, is this is Wainwright Perfect for Cats. Mini nibbles with over 50% lamb. And like I said, I'm always looking for lamb, duck, venison, those kind of treats. But because these are for cats, look how small they are. They're tiny. And it means that you can give him more, you can do more training, and you don't have to break anything up. And you can put them in boxes for them to play with, and you don't need to worry so much about them. A lot of treats are so big, and these ones are duck. So I have no doubt at all that he is going to like these, because they're nice and soft. He likes soft treats, he doesn't like biscuits. I'm convinced he will love both of these, and they were £1 something each, and I think that's really good because there's a lot in there, and like I said, they're tiny, so you don't need to worry about having to cut things up. So I thought that was worth mentioning, because not all of us, it's only recently that I've even thought about looking at cat stuff, and I only really looked at those cat sticks, and yesterday I thought, well, let me have a look at what else they've got in Pets at Home, and that's what I found. The thing I bought for him are these, and he just loves them. They're called Canine Natural Treats for Dogs, 100% pure natural freeze-dried lamb raw dog treats. So it's raw lamb, but it is freeze-dried, and he just loves them. And the reason that I discovered these, they look like that, just little freeze-dried drops. Actually, I'm not as careful as I probably should be when I'm holding these. I should probably go and wash my hands. I've got a wipe here, I'll go and wash my hands. Is that we still are looking for a food for him that's perfect. The Royal Canin adult, he doesn't like the kibble dry because it is too big. He tries to eat it, but it's just too big. What's happening? You want to come in, Watson Bear? You want to come and see Mama? Hey, darling. Are you just sitting outside the door waiting for me? You just sitting waiting for me, hello darling. Well, I'm talking about you then. Talking about you, look. Talking about how much you love these treats. What was I saying? Yeah, want to find, yeah, you can smell sniffing about this table like, oh my goodness, there's so many treats around here. The kibble's too big. If we wet it, he's not that clean. So this canine do food that is raw, freeze-dried, which I like the idea of, but they only do massive packets, so I can't get a little sample size, you know, to see if he likes it or not, because Mr. Fussy here will probably not like it. I don't want to pay like 30 quid, you know, for a massive bag of food that you then won't eat, do I? Huh? Are you coming in here because you want entertainment? Is that what you want? Entertainment? Hmm? Okay, that is everything that I bought in my doggy haul. That was quite a big haul, wasn't it? I hope that some of that was useful to you though. Feel free to let me know of any things you think I might like to buy for Watson, and I will speak to you.